Welcome into the special series, How to Financially Prepare to Buy a Home. Finally, you're going to get a comprehensive guide for everything that you need to know. This is the stuff that nobody's explaining to you. This is what you do when you're getting ready to buy someday. This podcast series is going to cover all things financial for first-time homebuyers. Let's get into it.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time homebuyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the #1 resource for first-time homebuyers.
What's happening, my How to Buy a Homies? I'm your first-time home buying coach, David Sidoni, and most of you came here today because I mentioned this multi-episode series as a great tool that's going to help you in an area that is totally ignored by everyone else in the real estate industry. The financial planning that it takes to become a homeowner. Awesome. Let's get you set up for your home purchase. This is the how-to for everybody out there planning to buy a home someday, and that could be in 2 weeks or in 2 years. This financial series is a supplement to the 10 basic steps that we've got here starting at episode 400. Now, if you're looking for the full overview for the entire home buying process, that's where you go. Episode 400 is the beginning of the #1 first-time homebuyer step-by-step program in the entire country. So start there, and then you can come back here to get the detailed information on your financial journey. I've been coaching first-time homebuyers for 20 years now and started the nationwide How to Buy a Home platform in 2019. And since then, we've helped tens of thousands with free first-time homebuyer education and empowerment all over the country. And helping all those people from sea to shining sea, we've discovered one big thing around here. Most people are way closer. Like way, way, way closer to being a homeowner than they think they are. You can do this. You just haven't been given the right information. So when it comes to the financial prep, I'll start with a little why finances matter before we get into the actual how. The obvious why is, well, duh. You need money to buy a home. But there's a big why in saving for a home because it's different than saving money for anything else in your life. Financially preparing to buy a home has 2 crucial elements. Number 1, understanding what the people who loan you the money to buy a house, what they want to see in your financial portfolio. Many of you could get approved today without saving another penny. You just have to realign your finances to become more approvable in the mortgage world. The people that are going to be giving you the money to buy the house, they're looking for something different than just a normal money in your savings account. The mortgage lenders have a system, and the more time you have to fit yourself into their system, the more options you're going to have when you're getting ready to become a homeowner. And that, my friends, that's the whole ball game, which leads us to the second critical element, preparing your finances as early as possible. When I say early, I don't mean a few months ahead before you get started. I'm talking 18 months, 24 months ahead of time. Yeah, years, gang. Way before you want to buy a home. That's going to guarantee you more options when you're actually negotiating. And options, that's the ultimate goal. That's how you dump your rent so much sooner and you become a homeowner. And most importantly, it happens with less stress, less confusion, with more benefits, more advantages. And it does happen a lot sooner than you think is possible. I'm going to give you the tips so you can do this on your own. But as with everything when it comes to buying a home, especially your first one, finding the right professional support team who's going to offer you the guidance and coaching, that's going to enhance these techniques in humongous ways. I know it feels like you're all alone out there, but you don't have to do this on your own. The details for how to get your own personal professional team that's going to help you in your specific journey, that's all in the 10 steps, starts at episode 400. But let me tell you everything we're going to cover in this special financial series. 1, we're going to talk about saving money and the tips for that. Step 2, we're going to talk about reserves needed and an emergency fund to help you avoid being house poor. Step 3, we're going to go over the apps that can help you. Step 4, credit scores and everything you ever wanted to know. Step 5, credit card tips. Step 6, we're going to break down exactly what you want to do if you happen to be lucky enough to get big chunks of money that come in. Looking to make sure not only are you going to speed up your time to being able to buy a home, but that you use that money in the best way possible. Step 7, we're going to talk about house hacks. Step 8, we're going to talk about planning for your big expenses. Step 9, we're going to talk about tracking your small expenses. Step 10, this one we're going to talk about maybe becoming a sugar daddy or a sugar mama, living on one income. It's a thing. Step 11, we're going to talk about how your current job affects your ability to get a loan for a home. Step 12, we're going to talk about maybe picking up a second job, not working twice as hard, but figuring out everything and anything that's out there to help you save. Step 13, I'll actually go over some side hustles that people have used. Step 14, we're going to talk about finding easy money. Step 15, we'll go over the tip to reevaluate your transportation to see if you can save money there. Step 16, we're going to talk about your 401k and how your retirement planning fits in with your plan to buy a home. And step 17 is for those of you who might have an IRA, we've got you covered too. Step 18, we're going to talk about self-employed people and how you plan to buy a house. And step 19, we're going to cover student loans. Step 20, we're going to talk about PMI and affordability. Step 21, we're going to talk about down payment assistance. In step 22, we're going to talk about begging. I'm going to teach you how to ask your family for help with a professional twist. In step 23, we're going to talk about the big bonus of owning a home, tax benefits, a rarely discussed conversation that goes over how much money you can make as a homeowner. And the last step, 24, we're going to talk about the balance it takes to work all of your finances together to get yourself in the best position when you're buying a home. So right now, if you're listening to this, you're in one of 3 saving phases for anyone that's looking to buy a home. Phase 1, you got no clue. No worries, man. No clue? That is a saving phase. I don't care if you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and you've got $17 in your savings account. You're here. So I hereby dub that $17, that's your starting point. See, the problem with the real estate industry is that they don't do jack squat for first-time home buyers who want to start a plan. Not just buy a house this weekend, but start a plan. And so what they do is they expect you to come up with a savings plan on your own so they can just sell you a home as fast as you can by the time you come to them. They just want to turn them and churn them and burn them. That's their motto. And it's not helpful to you at all. So phase 1ers, no clue, folks. Rad. You're here. You're a total beginner and you're in the right place. I even have a phase for you. I got you. And then you've got the folks in phase 2. You got a good start and now you need some turbo boosting tips. Your rent still sucks and you feel like you could be close to buying a home, but you don't really know. So you're looking for guidance from someone who knows exactly what first-time home buyers need to do in those final months before you're ready to start looking seriously at homes. What can you do to lock in with the right planning? Bam! I got you too. And you phase 3 people. Those are the people out there that are really close to buying. You're scouring Zillow right now. You're going through the major Zillow porn addiction. I get it. You're either thinking about or you visited open houses and maybe you even talked to a realtor or a lender and you feel like you think you're getting the full picture on the financial side of things, but you want to make sure you've got everything covered. You want to use all the tools to get the best deal and you want to find out if there are any tactics that are happening right now because you need to make sure that you have full validation that this giant undertaking that you're embarking on right now, that you're doing it correctly. Hey, phase 3 people. Bam, I got you too. All right, we're going to get into it. Each step builds on top of each other. So even if you're advanced and you have great savings and a super high credit score, you can use the tips in these early steps to be sure that you have all your ducks, not just in a row, but in precise military position. Step 1 to financially prepare to buy your first home. It is pretty damn self-explanatory. Save money. Of course, no doy. And some of you might be asking, yeah, I got that, David, but how much do I need, dude? All right, this series, this is about how you do the saving. That question is the what do you need? I answer that in the podcast, but not in the series. The what you need, how much do you need to save? That's all in the 10 steps. So go to episode 400 and you'll get that answer in episode 405, or you get the details on how much you specifically need to save. For most of you, you are far overestimating how much you need to save. When you discover the options that are available to you, you're going to be shocked. And over the years, we've had interviews who bought starter homes in the $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 range. And some of them only needed $20,000. Some of them only $10,000. And sometimes we've had people for $5,000. One of them that only needed $3,800. And all that happened because working with the team, they discovered the options that were available for them. And for some of them, yeah, it was even less than that. And we help coach people in every price range. So we're talking like $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, even up to $1 million. And I can't tell you the number of times that when we're talking to people looking in those high cost of living areas, we've had people buy $1 million homes using as little as $75,000 for their down payment, their closing costs. Sometimes even as low as $50,000 and even as low as $30,000. But no matter what options you discover yourself, the more savings that you have, the more options that will be available to you when it comes to buy time. So step one is start that saving right now, like immediately. Automate it. You heard me. Automate it. Get on that. That's my thing. Automate, automate, automate. I don't care if it's $20 a month. Set up the habit today and you can adjust it later. The habit, that's the key. Put your money on autopilot. Erase it from your mind. It's adulting practice, like buying a puppy before you have kids, except you don't have to clean up pee that gets all over everything. And once you've got your automation going, then you can go to the next step. That's setting up a budget. You're going to be looking to live on a lower percentage than you do right now. And then you're going to assign the remaining money to go in those automated specific saving accounts. Your budget, we're going to set it up on percentages, not dollar amounts. Now, the OG theory on this comes from a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a real easy read, and it's pretty much kind of like a parable. And it's a story of a guy who decided that his way he was going to be wealthy was living on 70% of what he made. And the other 30% was divided up. 10% in savings, 10% investing, and 10% to charity. It's 70, 10, 10, 10. And for you, considering that your home is probably going to be the biggest investment for you and your family, you can go 70, 20, 10. And that 20% can be all you're saving for what you're doing. And the 10%, you could do charity or whatever you want to do with that. Now, there is a more modern, up-to-date version of this. It comes from NerdWallet. It was specifically designed for the millennials who want to travel. It's 50% of your paycheck goes to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, and 20% goes to your savings. The 30% wants, that allows for entertainment, shopping, and traveling, so you still feel like you're living your best life while you're young and without any FOMO. Here's the thing about automating your savings. The precise division of these percentages, that's completely up to you. The key is that you begin your own personal budget with a goal and you increase your savings by setting a percentage of every single paycheck that comes in. And don't deny yourself. A budget isn't a terrible, scary word. Budget how you want to budget and set your own timelines. Just know the math and understand the consequences of waiting and the benefits of doing. But that's completely on you and your own personal tastes. We'll get more into the big math and the benefits of homeownership in step 2. So set your own personal percentages for your lifestyle and make sure that you automate directly into your savings. I know many people out there, you're not savers by nature. So this is going to be a very simple but highly effective tip. The automation makes it invisible. It removes the temptation. It's taking major action steps towards your goal with minimal effort, and you're not going to feel it at all. And once you get going, then you can adjust, track your expenses, see where you overspend, where you can cut back. You can even make a vision board if you want to, as long as you're keeping your goals in mind. Doesn't matter how you do it, just do it. And try it for 90 days. You might be shocked what living on 70% of your income actually looks like. And since we're talking about finances, you might have noticed that you don't hear any commercials from sponsors on this podcast. I started this dream to educate and empower the ignored first-time homebuyer. And the last thing I want you guys to hear is some national corporation looking to profit off of you and rip you off. So if you've gotten any value out of this podcast without any commercials, please help me out and be sure to follow the podcast. And most importantly, share it. Send this podcast out to your renter friends. It helps us so much. The revolution here is for the people, so help us get the word out. Share the podcast. Please, if you have a minute, leave a written review. That does huge for us on Apple or Spotify. It's a big help. All right, let's get back to you. Step 1 is save. And in step 3, I'm going to give you the latest budgeting tools to help you automate, assign, and track every dollar. I'm going to show you ways to take the sting out of the B word, budgeting. It's not about sacrificing. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about permission, not prohibition. A budget gives you the green light to spend guilt-free on what you love, and you'll be working a plan with no guesswork. And if you'd like to have a clear vision, actually some sort of spreadsheet or notes that you can look at, that's a good thing because that's going to get you peace of mind, not stress. And if you have a predictable savings plan, once you get to your target savings number from the 10 steps from episodes 400 to 410, that's when we're going to add step 2. Step 2 is once you have your target saving number, that you do this next thing to make sure that you avoid being house poor. Stack an emergency fund on top of the savings goal. And you know what? If you already have an emergency fund set aside already, great, cool. Keep it as is. Set your saving up for a home in a different account, though. Make sure you don't commingle those funds. We want to help you get clarity in this entire process. That eliminates the stress and gives you the confidence. Now, how much your emergency fund should be, that's completely up to you and your own personal comfort level. And when you're saving for a home, remember this. Most of you out there are much closer than you think because you haven't been shown all the options that first-time home buyers can do, which a lot of times is a lot cheaper than you think. And when you see the full picture for the rent replacement strategy, you can make so much more of your money work for you in ways that you've never imagined. If you haven't listened yet, check out episode 388 from the playbook episodes to help you see that big math. And then when you've got that, you see the big math, that's going to help you determine the amount that you want for your emergency fund so you can feel safe, comfortable, and stable, but at the same time, maximizing your finances working the most for you. So these are your first 2 tips on how to financially prepare to buy a home. As we wrap this episode up, let me give you some extra whys. Why starting this process as early as possible is fundamentally important to your ultimate success as a first-time home buyer. Here's some basic knowledge that helps everybody buying a home. Every real estate transaction, every single one, it boils down to 2 things: time and money. The more flexible that you are on both of these, the better deal you can get from that seller. With time, if you've done your preparation and you can be flexible on when you can close on the seller's home, it could save you big money because you could be helping the seller by maybe being able to close quicker than someone else because you're a prepared, well-qualified buyer. I've seen buyers get discounts in the tens of thousands because they had the timing flexibility to close when it was best for the seller. And sometimes it can go the other way too. If you're prepared and you've got the flexibility to close in 60 days or 90 days, that contract period might benefit the seller, which means you get to buy at a discount. Negotiation's all about time and money. And if you're sitting there demanding that the timing of the closing of this particular real estate transaction be around your timeline because you're not prepared, then you can expect that to cost you. And you can bet that in bidding wars, buyers with the right timing often win the deal with a price that's tens of thousands less than the other offers that are on the table, but that aren't willing to flex to the seller's timing needs. And you might be thinking, David, why the hell are you talking about this? Because I told you real estate transactions are about 2 things, time and money. So now let me explain how the money part works. Pretty obvious, but in many, many, many deals, money seems to be the cure-all. It's the difference between living in or losing your dream home. Many people ask me all the time, what's the one thing? What's the biggest tip that I would give to someone who is thinking about going out there to buy their first home? Well, it's simple. Plan 2 to 3 years ahead of time with a professional real estate support team, and then start saving immediately. Look, I understand I cheated and I put 2 things in my one answer. But since every real estate negotiation comes down to 2 things, time and money, I stand by that 2-part answer. And if the idea of starting to save for something that's so far away, if this isn't vibing with you, if you're not feeling this right now, remember, go back and listen to episode 388 so you can see how much you're being screwed by the current economy and rental market. Planning early, this is a solution so you can start living a less stressful life chasing rent and bills. And the savings principle, the why behind you start saving, it's so simple that it's stupid. You save as soon as you can so that you can leave the rent rut ASAP so you can start taking control of your life and build stability that you crave. It's kind of obvious. It's like saying, you know what? I'd like to be happy. So I'm telling you, if someone told you, if you automate $10 a week, you'll be happier. Of course you do it, right? Well, I'm telling you, if you automate a savings account and start this plan a lot sooner than you think you should, you're going to have the ability to get that control over your life and that stability so much faster than you thought. And the other part of this simple why is that the sooner that you start, the more dedicated that you are to a plan, then the easier buying will be. And I don't just mean in the big ways. Yes, the big ways for sure, but also small. The more cash that you've got saved, then the more options you're going to have as a buyer. You save money to increase your options. Period. The end curtain. That's how you win. The cool thing is the number is probably a lot lower than you think. And that big savings goal for your down payment and your closing costs, when you've got that, well, you're going to find out it's probably lower than you thought, and you can go above that, and then you get the beauty of all the options. You're going to have so many potential variables that it can sometimes be hard to wrap your brain around it. So here's what you do. Don't think about it right now. Just find out what your target numbers are, set it, and automate it. Save. Your real estate support team will help clarify all the options as you get closer. Let me give you a few examples right now. This is like one of the small ways that savings can really be an exciting part of buying a home. If you're negotiating for your dream home and you've got a nice little extra above and beyond what you need to buy, and you are so amped about this dream home, and the seller says, oh, this is a great offer, I love it, but you asked for the refrigerator, I'm taking this fridge. I love this fridge. This fridge and I have memories. Cool. No worries for you. You don't have to stress about it. You've got the savings and you can let the seller take that win in the negotiations. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but I can tell you, I've seen buyers lose their dream home, a $500,000 dream home over a $2,000 fridge. And what if after the inspection of your dream home, there are a few cosmetic repairs and the seller says, you know what? You cover it, buyers. All right, well now, if you've got the savings, you have the option to weigh the full value of this home, the financial benefits of this entire complete total home. Is that worth it to you? Well, this means that now you're not going to lose that dream home just because you didn't have a comfortable financial option to take care of a few of the little items. Maybe it's worth it for you to get this home and you'll deal with those things. So start your saving as soon as you can, because the person with the most wiggle room, they win. They get their dreams fulfilled, while unprepared buyers, they end up losing dream homes over what essentially are small financial items in the scope of a purchase that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. So let these end-of-the-road examples inspire you to start saving. Well, I don't know. How about right now? And you know what? It's fine. Start small. No worries. Because starting early, that's what's going to set you up for the maximum success. Buying your first home, it really should be a longer process than, I was going to say society, but it's really the real estate industry. It should be a longer process than what people are serving you in the way that they do this. And the planning should be started years before your income can afford a home, or your lack of income even. And if your debt feels mountainous today, great. Start a plan to buy a home and we'll work on the debt as we go. It really disheartens me because I have seen this number one mistake for 20 years. First-time homebuyers wait too long to start planning because they really don't have a clue how close they are today. So they think, why should I even start? Well, you should start because I'm telling you, you're closer than you think. This is what I do 24/7, 365. I see this from coast to coast. The real estate industry, they don't see any profit in coaching and guiding first-time homebuyers through their critical planning steps that it takes months ahead of time, even 1 to 2 years before they're ready to start looking at homes. But we're here to give you a bunch of steps. That's step 1 and step 2. The remaining steps are going to be very practical, actionable steps that you're going to be able to implement to get things going for you on your financial journey. So go to the next episode. That's going to be part 2, and we'll give you the next steps. You can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time home buyers. So visit howtobuyaHome.com to get started.